it's your favorite portion of the doggone night with Soapbox Live.
Yes.
You're looking at Brother Marcus is next to us. If you didn't know who he is, what rock have you been living underneath?
It's your Brother Marcus talking.
Reverend Dr. Songs, Brother Marcus from 107.9 is going to join us tonight for the Soapbox topic. Craig is going to be introducing it for tonight. I do believe that he's slowly but surely kicking me off of my job as host, and I don't understand why.
He's kicking to the curb.
He wants to.
He's slowly phasing in
topics.
He's slowly phasing in.
That's what he does.
That's what he does. He does that to me. He does it. I've been dealing with it all my life. I'm dealing with it all my life.
Yeah.
All my life I've been dealing with this. All my life I had to fight.
You don't have to pass me baton. That's number one. I literally just came in and just began to talk about our soapbox topic of the night, which is Brother Marcus. And I kind of thought about this. You get the pen out. Where's the microphone now? We missed the microphone.
Yeah, the microphone.
Excuse me, can I have the pen? Because you're going. If I don't have the pen, you're going to talk. Thank you.
Okay.
Our soapbox. This is where it gets gritty.
Yes.
Okay.
Our soapbox topic of the day. Something I thought about when you talked about your mom. Getting you up for Sunday morning.
Mm-hmm.
I thought about raising kids and how a lot of us have kids and we're raising kids and things of that nature. The old way versus the new way.
Mm-hmm.
And Leslie says it best. To be or not to be?
Thank you for that.
That's the question.
Is the question.
Yes, thank
Well,
you.
because we live in a very interesting society, I think I'd be very careful with the words I choose to use. I don't want anybody to treat me like Roseanne Barr.
Yeah.
They
In
won't.
terms of, but let me say, I'll put it this way. I believe the way that things were done in the past, the way that we grew
Being
up,
cave.
it taught us how to be respectful. There's a lot of young people today that don't show a lot of respect.
Not at all.
The seniors and things of that nature. You know what I mean?
Right.
And some things it's because of how people are being raised these days. And I do believe that there should be some level of discipline. People they come up with timeout. It depends on your culture and where you're from or whatever. But we had a different type of timeout. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it worked for me, and I've never really been into anything crazy because of how my mother disciplined me and taught us how to respect. And so there you have it.
So so we notice that there's a difference.
A big difference.
Is how we're raising our kids. How much is it affecting them? I mean, we look at, because here's my question, right? We saw with how our parents raised us and how it worked. I raised my kids totally different from how I was raised, and I asked myself why did I do that? You know what I'm saying? Are we making them better the way we're raising them, or are we making them worse?
Let me tell you this. I do not believe that we should spoil our children.
Mm-hmm.
Because when we give them everything and they have so much, when real issues and real problems come, they can't handle it. So growing up the way I grew up, it kind of makes, I'm not a materialistic person by far, you know what I mean?
Right.
And so we learned how to just make do with whatever we have.
Right.
And so I think it depends on how you raised your kids. I mean, your parents probably raised you the way my mom raised me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
You run your mouth, you get disciplined, you get taken care of.
Right.
Some parents don't believe in that. They do the timeout. If it's whatever is working, so be it. If it's working, but if it's not working and your kids are being disrespectful, then they try to say that the kids have ADD and all this other stuff. No, they just probably need some old-fashioned training.
Yeah, because I ain't never had no letters behind my head.
Brother Marcus, I have a question. There is a very famous proverb that a lot of people go by, which is comes from King Solomon. I did do my history lesson because I'm very well learned as a host of this show.
She's such a preacher.
Yeah. Yeah, she is.
Foolishness is bound up in the heart of a child, but the rod of correction shall drive it far from him. Is it possible that all of these years, Brother Marcus, we have misconstrued what the rod really is? Is it possible that the rod is figurative and not literal? Now, I do think that the rod is something that was given to us because we are very visual creatures. I do believe that when we think about a rod, we think about a herdsman with sheep. And what happens with that rod is that when they get out of line, he takes the rod and he just moves them in the right direction, does not beat them with it. So is it that the rod is our wisdom? The wisdom that we use to correct our children and move them in the right path and not beat them half to death.
Well, the word, again, the word
You gotta
says,
take the mic, brother Marcus.
the
Don't do
word
that.
of the Lord.
Don't do that.
Train up a child in the way that they should go. So we need to train them appropriately and accordingly. So everybody will, there's a lot of different there's a lot of interpretations that come from the Bible. But I was on a radio show earlier before I got here, and one of the things that I really wanted to express is we have to ask God to show us and share with us, what do you really mean from this word? Because we can look at it and get many different translations, and we'll have philosophers and theologians all having their own point of view of it all. So we have to continue to ask God, Lord, what are you trying to say to me about the rod? What is the rod? Spare the what? So we need to go to God with that and ask God individually as well as corporately. And that's why now I'm going somewhere else. I definitely recommend people to always be a part of Bible study, but also go to seminary and go to other theological schools, because they help us and they teach us the Word of God in a very different manner, and it shows us many different directions of what the Word is trying to say, so we can come to an understanding. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Craig, I have a question for you, and that was very well said, Brother Marcus.
Yeah.
You continue
That was
to
deep.
show us on tonight why you are the king of radio. Craig,
Come on.
are we teaching our children how to be violent towards others that do wrong against them? Are we telling them that if you do something wrong to me, around me, or near me, that they should be beat, they should be punished by harm, especially in the black community?
Be careful with this.
Hey, Devon.
I think that, okay, so I think essentially
The dog wants to give his input.
who that's what
the
the
dog
dog.
wants to
You hear
give
me?
his input.
I'm screaming for somebody to shut him up, but he won't shut up. My dog is crazy, y'all. He's crazy. I'm like, go get the dog.
I'm
That
gonna
is true.
talk
I'm about
about
to say
that.
that.
What Kevin say?
I'm gonna talk about that.
What Kevin say?
He said, well, my mama beat me with the Bible.
Hey,
And that's
Raheem.
true.
Hey, Angela.
Well, here's what I'm
Angela,
saying.
you late.
Go ahead.
Yes,
Yeah, Angela Terry's like, but here's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say
Joke number 7.
okay. So funny story, real funny story. I worked for adolescents for a long time. I was a substance abuse counselor for the state. We were sitting around. We had these meetings where we sit around and we talk about each kid. So we were talking about abuse, and so they were talking about the things that they consider what they consider now to be abuse.
Right.
And so I'm sitting there listening to the conversation, and I'm listening to what's going on, and I'm saying to myself, well, wait a minute, a lot of that happened to me. And I went to my mama. I said, Mama, do you know that you abused me?
Yes.
And my mama said, that's what you call it. I'll do it again too.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think it is. Let me tell you, it's more challenging. It's easy for you to just whoop your child, or to tell them, or to have them.
You feel that muscle?
If you tell them to do something and you enforce immediate
Right.
consequence on it, that's easier. It's more difficult. You need more patience in order for them to tell them and then teach them through direction and redirection. And a lot of times we choose to whoop instead of the redirection and teaching. I believe though, and some people don't believe, I believe it lasts longer not being punitive, but teaching our kids the right decisions versus beating them into the right decision.
Right.
But I think what the difference is, I think what the difference is right now that we're dealing with, like, I know there's a lot going on with the kids' entitlement. I think that's something that we weren't entitled when we was coming up, as you know, and I think because what we dealt with when we was younger,
We give them too much.
yeah.
I mean, think about it. We give our kids too much.
Yeah, but they're expecting that, and I think that's part of the problem. You know what I'm saying? So,
Well, kids have iPads. Think about it. Kids got iPads already. They got iPhones. I know, got iPhones and iPads.
Mm-hmm.
They're already expected at 3 years old. They have their own iPad, and it's not earned. It's just given. I give my kids so many things, so they grow up in a world saying, I should get this and not work. Think about this. We quit. A lot of kids quit. Like what parents say now, if you don't want to do it, you don't have to. How many times your parents made you do something you didn't want to do? I'm not going to make him do that because he don't want to do that.
Right, but we didn't have a choice.
Right, but here's the thing, and that's what we grew up like that.
Yeah.
So now when we have to do things that we don't want to do, we do it because we've been accustomed to doing things that we had to do, we didn't want to do. If little Johnny don't want to play soccer because he stinks at it, we pull little Johnny out. It's just not for him. No, let little Johnny get his behind, run by, and let him feel that, and then teach him character and how to be better and keep trying. We don't do that anymore.
Well, see, that goes back to the spoiling and saying that if we allow, sometimes we got to push our kids again, because when real issues come in life,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? You can't run from the issues in life. You got to hit them things head on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And sometimes kids or parents, they're covering their kids and protecting them from the people that are teasing them in school and bullying them, instead of saying, my mother used to tell, this is what my mother used to say to me. If I ever hear you coming home running from a fight, crying from a fight, that you lost the fight, I'm gonna blanket it.
Quick story.
So
Brother
what I
Marcus,
did
mama
was,
curse.
what I did was, I learned how to talk very well, and I never had to use these, so I was good. You know what I mean? Because I wasn't coming home from a fight, crying, getting my sisters to come jump some little boy. That wasn't happening.
Now, guys, we got to take a quick break just to
comments.
talk about the comments.
Right.
So, Sadell D. Harris was
What's up, Sadell?
agreeing with you. He was saying, right, too much given and not earned, they will get a rude awakening when they're adults. Absolutely. Cell phones at 5D, absolutely. That was me, protector. And D was agreeing with what we were saying. And Arsena
said, my child has an iPad, she's 6, sad. Wow.
Yeah.
But that's what's going on now.
Yeah.
We're giving these kids, we're giving it to them.
But
it's part of the entitlement, you know?
Well, yeah, but again, I do believe that children, I don't care how old they are, you know what I mean? You have to earn.
Yeah.
Maybe again, it's how I was raised. You got to earn. Nothing is handed to you. Nothing is given to you. You got to work for it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If you're not working,
But why did we stop, Marcus? Why did we stop doing it though?
Because it's the today generational voice of the world that's basically saying, you can take your parents to court. You can do whatever you want to do. You can live like you want to live. If you don't want to be there, you can go here. And so these kids are lost. And we're saying that if our kids are acting out of the norm, and we're not using disciplinary action of whether we beat or whether we time out them. Some people ain't even doing either one of them, and then they're saying, oh, the kid has ADD or we need to get them some Ambien or whatever the case is.
Yeah.
And in most of these cases, that's not the issue. The issue is the child needs some extra attention.
Yeah.
They need some extra attention.
Brother Marcus, no, I'm on my soapbox.
Wait, what Joseph say for you in his soapbox?
Yeah.
What Joseph said?
Joseph said you caught the Uber home?
Brother Marcus, is it possible that the reason why the kids, and we call them millennials now,
Right.
is it possible that the parents are getting younger and younger? We now have children that are from the ages of 16 to 18 that are raising babies, and they still have not come into their own, and they're saying, because my parents were this or that, whether they were loving or not, I will never put my children through that. I'm going to let them live their lives. I'm going to let them do A, B, and thus. Is it because the parents are getting younger?
Well, it could be a lot of different things. I do believe that as the world evolves, you want to give your children a better life. You want to give them what you didn't have. But at the same time, you don't want to lose that teaching mechanism to say, look, if you do this, then you can get this. This will be the end result. You know what I mean? I do believe that we need to spend more time with them as best we possibly can. Now, I'm not Mr. Perfect Father at all. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying, if those who are with their children on a consistent basis, we need to do better and not just give them things, but have them work for them and discipline them accordingly. and read what the word of the Lord is saying, because nowadays everything is taken out of context. If you grab your child up in the store, grab them by their arm, oh, it's a big, you're killing a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Or
Yeah,
if you say,
yeah,
I'm gonna whoop your behind.
Nowadays you can't do that. I mean,
Yeah, you can't do anything.
Listen,
So,
I fall prey to it. I ain't gonna lie. They told me, I found out, I didn't even know it. My youngest daughter, they said she be finessing me. And I didn't.
She's working.
They said she finesses me, and I didn't realize that she was finessing me until my older kids brought it to my attention. Because let me just say this real quick. After I got 4 kids, okay. After the third one, you're tired. So the baby just gets everything they want,
right?
Because I ain't got no more fighting. But ultimately, it's wrong because now she's to the point where she's got to work for some things.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't coming as easy, and I can't come and save her because I gotta teach her that life is difficult.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, life ain't easy.
You guys have any questions for Brother Marcus? We can read the wrap up. Just let us know.
Right.
Alrighty, we're gonna wrap up this segment. We really do appreciate Brother Marcus getting in on our Soapbox Live topics. To beat or not to beat, that is the question. He continues to cheers himself. That is the 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th joke. That was very dry and very whack. Brother Marcus, we appreciate you.
Yes.
Are you going to come back?
I'm definitely going to come back. And we're going to do some more stuff when we come back. We're going to do some things when we come back.
Okay.
Oh, dang.
All right.
Well, all right.
Alrighty, it's Soapbox Live. Thank you for joining us.
Soapbox Live.
All right.